Traders, how we doing out there? Who's ready to check out this market? I know I'm ready. It's been already a tough little overnight for me, a little bit of some lack of sleep, but that's not going to stop us. We're ready to get after it. Like always, we'll see what's going on in the market. Right now, we're getting some economic data that I think is really important here to the rally that we're seeing today. Of course, this all coming off the backs of Tesla and Tesla's earnings report getting the spike. And what I've been telling you guys, and we've been talking about this every single day this week, right, is the overnight action has been where it's at. It's either been on the downside or in this case, yesterday the markets closed red, right? Big red action. Well, today it just bounces right back, right? So it seems like selling the close, buying the open, or maybe buying the close and selling the open is the way to do it right now. And that's a nice swing trade kind of mentality, right? And so those swing traders out there are probably enjoying the markets, that's for sure. We'll see what happens. How we doing out there, guys? Let me know what's on your radar, what you guys are looking at. Let's take a look at what just came in. Of course, we got some economic data that's coming in here. I'll show you guys a little bit about it. We can take a look into the action, see what's going on in the tape. Let's go ahead. Let's pull in the charts here. The SPY right now getting a little bit of a lift on this. Let's talk about it. Continuous jobless claims coming in here at 1.897 million versus a 1.88 million expected. Nothing too bad there, but the initial jobless claims, that's what we were going to be watching. So here you guys have it right on the screen. Initial jobless claims coming at 227,000 versus a 243,000 estimate, and prior being 242,000. So this is something that could put a wrench in the trading action today, right? So if initial jobless claims are jumping, right, or getting a little bit of a spike, those are things that we need to be concerned. But in this case, what is it? It's below the estimate, right? So this is going to be the opposite. It's not going to stop the rally, right? At this point, I think we're looking good here for continued upside on the day as we get the numbers that at least the bulls wanted to see. And now you start to take a look, right? Tesla's the leader right now. Look at that thing going to 245 today. We'll look to see if this pulls back. Definitely could have played this morning, as from 605, just from this morning, it's up another 7.6 points. So imagine the way that I was trading Tesla earlier in the week, right? Earlier in the week, I was trading Tesla and I got all the way up as 600 shares. Right? 600 shares, $6. What are we talking, right? We're talking $3,600, right? So I think you can make a lot of money with Tesla today. Be careful out there. We'll talk a little bit more about the numbers coming up here in the Sunrise Report, but I wanted to just go ahead and kind of state why this market's really kind of ripping like it is, right? So that's enough for the economic data. We can talk a little bit more about that, but look how the Qs are continuing here. And the problem that happens here is that we're already rising so much from yesterday, right? Technically, from the close yesterday, we're already up 4.64 in the Qs. We could go higher, but how much higher? Maybe like a 1.55, maybe 2 points. But even then, now we're back towards like these crazy levels on the upside, and then we're already back here towards like 496, 495. I mean, that's a whipsaw from yesterday's action, and then we could get a little bit of a chop. So just be careful. This is how it's been doing it, and this is the tough time, right? I hate when the stocks move so much overnight. It doesn't really help you unless you're trading the futures action. So all you future traders out there, I'm sure are enjoying that action. We'll see what happens here. The Qs continuing to 493.30s and could keep pushing. All right, guys, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and we'll talk a little bit more about this. Let's first kick it off to the playbook action, of course. We'll take a look into the playbook, see what we can come up with in the market. And, of course, we'll go to the sunrise. We'll take a look at some of the action out there. I got some interesting ones today. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Let's start today's playbook action and see what we got up our sleeve. First up on the playbook, we're going to be looking back towards the miners, as I think that, you got a really good opportunity yesterday. The only question is, would it like kind of hold? And yesterday's action was really red. So I understand if no one went after this yesterday, but today it looks great, right? And that's how it is sometimes, right? Things can just as quickly as they pull back and look ugly because of the way that yesterday's action was. Well, now it's looking great. This pullback on CleanSpark. I talked about, would we come back to the 9 EMA, the 11 spot? That's what I drew this box for. I was waiting to see when would we come back to 11, right? Come back into that spot. Well, look at CleanSpark. It came right back towards 1106. So I think this is a really good layer to look at. Now we'll look to see if we can go back towards 13 and 12.99, which was Friday's 10.18 high. And I think that this is a really good look for multiple minor plays. You can take a look at them. They'll have very similar setup, right? Recoveries of 9 EMA yesterday are good signs. And you can take a look at tons of these. Look at Riot towards more than $10 spot. And you got so many names here, right? HUT, you can take a look at Hive. You can take even a look at some of the Bitcoin ETFs, right? That's not really what I trade in these, but even Coin on the 9 EMA recovery, you see how it's a very similar pattern. So take a look to see if one of them maybe leads and then the other one follows. That's what I would be looking for. So through Coin, maybe a move through 210. Not bad to think about, guys. Here in, of course, some of the Bitcoin miner names. Let's take a look at Apple today. As we take a look at Apple, looking to see if we go back to highs. I'm looking at a long here, potentially here for Apple, especially on a day like today. So you get a big expansion of volatility yesterday. And now can we get this expansion back up, right back towards 235? Who knows? We could be closing towards near the high today. Right. So I'll be watching to see if we can even just get back to yesterday's opening action, which was 234.37. But this is not a bad one. And I think that you've been seeing more and more talks about what? About Apple Intelligence. And I drew this trend line as we broke up above this, right? And you can see it here. We drew this on September 12th, updated it on the 14th as we were crossing through that. Now we're going to update it a little bit further. We're going to pull it a little bit further and look how it comes right into yesterday's action, undercutting and now recovering. Of course, it could come back and bounce off of that. But right now I'm looking for this to kind of hold yesterday's closing action, 230.63, and work its way back towards that high. All right, we'll see what happens there in Apple. Let's go to the third play here as we take a look at drug. And yes, I'm talking about it, guys. Small caps today, I think, can really get going again. You know, one of the things is when the market kind of gets into that uncertainty stage, you could get a little bit of some shake in these small caps. And we did get a little bit of some down action on the recent movers. But look how drug has hung in here. And look at the hourly chart on this, guys. So this is what I'm pointing at. The hourly chart points to a couple of rips that it's tried to get back above 50. Today, if we get back above 50, it's definitely in play in my eyes. I think this could make a run to $60 and $70. Who knows what happens if it gets through that? So we're talking what? We're talking what? $13, maybe $20 higher. So of course, you don't need to be trading a monster size to get a move that goes $20, right? So I'll be looking to trade this, but probably with a smaller size and letting the stock work, right? Looking for big breakouts, and it's going to be hard because you're going to get a lot of choppy action in drug. So be careful out there, but this is definitely on my radar, guys. 45 seems to be acting as support. So quick scoops down there. You got to be careful. They could hold and come right back up, but really looking for a move back through 50. That's when things are going to be looking better. That's when you approach all these wicks and you can start running to 54 and 56. All right, guys. So this is that action here on drug. Look at the hourly there. I've drawn it out here for you guys. Hourly, you've seen that nice tight trend line. You've seen a couple of wicks that it's tried to get through. 3 wicks. I'm looking for that fourth to be that one that closes up here on an hourly basis above 50, going towards 52. And holding the 45 support here on drug. We'll see what happens. There's a couple of these names that you can watch, right? I know you guys know a lot of these and you can keep an eye out for them. Even there was this Verb, right? And look how Verb has been hanging in there. Now taking a little bit of an approach higher, right? Like it wants to go through 12. A lot of these names have an opportunity today, especially if we're going to have a little bit of a melt up day. So keep your eyes on the action, guys. There's going to be a lot of stocks moving today and a lot to trade, guys. So that's going to do it at least on the playbook action. We'll get to today's sunrise report, guys. I don't have the graphics with it, but let's just go through so much news right now. There's a lot of earnings plays. So much is going on just with Tesla, right? So we'll talk a little bit about it. What exactly happened in their report that's giving them this lift. Of course, this is also more of a tendency of lowering the bar with yesterday's down action, right? So it gave it an opportunity to be that stock that brought the market back. And boy, oh boy, yeah, it brought the market back today. We're looking a lot on a little bit of a flip side today, right? Yesterday, things were just going down, down, down. The VIX was shooting through the moon. Well, today, it's falling and falling fast. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the Sunrise Report. All right, team, let's get to the Sunrise Report. Let's first talk about, of course, Tesla, as the third quarter earnings did exceed expectation here, sending the stock soaring about 10.7%. Let's take a look at the action here first, and look at that, man. What a move here. Tesla was just down to 214, 213. It's at 243. Imagine that swing trade, guys. $31 higher. Wow. You got that swing trade yesterday. You're killing it, right? So, of course, the earnings came in at 72 cents adjusted versus 58 cents expected. Revenues at 25.18 billion versus a 25.37 billion expected. Despite a slight miss on the revenue side of things, Tesla's automotive sector remained strong here, and the net income rose to 2.17 billion. The energy generation and storage units also had a stellar 52% increase in revenue, while services and other revenues grew 29%. So what does this report on Tesla really tell me? Well, this report on Tesla really tells me that you need to be focusing more and more on the other services and the other things that Tesla has to offer. Yes, the automotive is a focus, and they are continuing to sell cars and continuing to grow in that aspect, but it's not as big, right? And that's one thing I notice is that at this point, I think Tesla's just selling cars because they know how to do it. The focus here is the energy generation, the storage units, right? The supercharger infrastructure that grew 20% on this earnings. And that's what the focus is, right? Because if Tesla's going to continue to grow, it's going to be more focused as the technology company, not the automotive company, right? That's why we were so focused on, of course, the robo-taxi and different opportunities. They did mention, of course, that the Tesla semi-truck factory is on task here to meet the kind of the expectation for the timeline there. And that's also an important outlook, right? The Tesla's focused more, not necessarily on the car that you know Tesla for. It's another or the next generation vehicle, right? The Cybertruck, right? The semi-truck. Those are the things that are going to push Tesla forward. So keep your eyes on that. Of course, CEO Elon Musk shared bold predictions for 2025, including potential driverless ride hailing and lower cost vehicles driving vehicle growth 20 to 30%. All things to think about. And of course, what I think needs to happen here for Tesla to take that next step and maybe their automotive focus is for them to maybe get something right in the battery focus where that price can come down. That's where you could really affect things. We'll see what happens here in Tesla. But good move overall, right? I mean, massive move, right? And so now you start taking a look. Where do I get this on a pullback? Because, I mean, playing Tesla today on the upside, it's just really tough. I mean, you're playing it way higher, and I think that you could get quick sweeps back towards like 236. So just be careful. That's kind of the support for me right now that I'm looking at. I'll see what happens. I mean, I could try to play it off this resistance, right, which is around the 240s. These are the kind of levels for pullbacks right now. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is going to be a tough play because it's already like way higher. So another way to play this could be maybe playing the sympathy from Ford or GM. Of course, GM has already gone a little bit higher because of their report. So I'd be watching more Ford, right? Or maybe some of the smaller vehicle players today, right? So take a look at some of those names today. We'll see what happens. Even Stellantis up. BFS, right? This is a small cap name, right? That has a nice chart, right? The daily chart, you can see it here. It's been slowly kind of building up for a move back above going towards 450s, going towards 5. This is one that off the backs of Tesla could approach that 425 and 450 today. So this is how I use kind of the leader to laggard approach, right? So keep your eyes on this. We'll see what happens in Tesla today. All right, let's move over to Honeywell and get to the Honeywell report, and we'll talk a little bit more about this one. Not a bad one, definitely to take a look at. What's going on out there, traders? How are we doing? It's good to see you guys in the chat. Let me catch a little bit more of the chart here out there. We don't see the drug chart. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, when I was presenting it there. Beautiful, right? Yes, just keep your eyes on that one. It's definitely one that's on the radar today. Shane, what's going on? Vic, how we doing out there? Day trade with Tony. Morning, Mitch. Just mad at a big trade, shorting NNE and done for the day already. Hey, guys, NNE, SMR. You guys remember, I went on Trader TV, and that was one of the big trades that I talked about, how watch for the pullback in those names because it was going to be wicked, and it gave you an opportunity to maybe short them and then go buying them on the long, on the pullback, right? Take a look at NNE on that pullback, right? Look at that thing. Back down to 1725, right? And so at this point, it actually starts looking for me today for a potential undercut at the open and then a rally, right? I know this sounds crazy because this is like really down, but hey, I think the down is already in there now. And now you can get a little bit of a turnaround today. But I'll be waiting for this one a little bit. You know, I don't have to jump out of my shoes for them, but SMR also pulling the back, right? I think you could look for maybe a little bit of an undercut to 16, but definitely these are names that you got to keep on the radar. What's going on out there, guys? How we doing? Good morning. Tesla's going to space. Elon's going to space, that's for sure. It might be going towards Mars, right? I mean, that's where he's from. Hey, could you introduce yourself? You're a profitable trader. Let me trade, right? Well, let me trade, man. Nah, just joking with you. Yeah, of course. My name's Money Mitch, man. And hey, I talk about it all the time. What I'm here for is for you guys to learn from my approach, right? That's what I'm all about. And you guys will see me battling, taking big sizing, taking trades, showing you guys stops, showing you guys filled orders, showing you it all. There's not many traders out there that give you guys this type of insight. Why? Because they don't want them attacked. They don't want you guys trying to trade off of them, right? That's the truth. Well, right here, I'm all about education. I'm here to show you guys, and literally, like if you were sitting on my shoulder and watching me trade, right? And even better, not only sitting on my shoulder, but getting insights into my mentality of how I trade, what I'm looking at in the market, right? Where the trades are that I'm watching today. And you guys can learn from that, right? That's what it's all about here at Trade the Pool, guys. Smash the like if you guys enjoy the action. And of course, do me the favor, hit the share button down below. I'd love to see this stream shared today by multiple traders out there. So if you guys can just, right there on YouTube, you just hit the share button, hit that X, and share the stream. Let everybody know. You can always tag me at MoneyMitch_TTP for, of course, Trade the Pool. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next one here on the report. Nano Nuclear Energy falls after a discounted underwriting offering for around $36 million, which is not a bad thing, Shane. Of course, they jumped on the price, right? The price is higher, so they're going to make some more money because they need to do what? They need to work on these smaller nuclear reactors, right? That's the truth. Remember when I talk about these plays, this is more about a presidency play. This is more about Trump supporting this play, not that nanonuclear smaller reactors are taking off right now. This is something that's moving into the future. This is a theme, right? So keep that in mind. Don't lose the focus on what the trade really is, right? It's a momentum play for a Trump play. That's the truth. And that's why it's also pulling back right before the elections, right? Why? Because it's a buy the rumor thing, right? As you get closer to the event, things pull back or they drop on the event, right? But a lot of times they can even pull back slightly before the event. How Tesla running into the earnings, right? A lot of people were positive on Tesla, but what happened right before the earnings? Down, down, down. Even the day before, down. And then it comes back up. Why do they do that? They wash you and then they go ahead and they bake you, man. And that's exactly what I think they'll do also in NNE today. Maybe wash you out the open and then start to climb things back. Be careful out there, guys. VKTX has some good earnings out there, Justin. We can talk a little bit about that. I still got a lot on the Sunrise report, so let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next one here. Let's talk a little bit about Honeywell. We'll talk a little bit about the airlines today. We got a lot to talk about, guys. Smash the like. I need a little sip of coffee. It's going to be one of those days, guys. Strap in, guys. It's 8:55. We got a lot more for you guys right here on Trade the Pool. Smash the like, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get things going. Let's get a little hype here. Things up. What's up out there, traders? What's up, watch out there? Who's watching the name? I know I got Doug on the alert, but we'll see what other ones are moving out there today. I almost took it in the pre-market. I'll be as honest as I can be, guys. I almost took it at 47.56. But it's just so hard with the spread right now in the pre-market. Smash the like out there, guys. Pinkies up to everyone. I wish you guys the best of luck today. And let me know, what's your top watch, man? There's so much to watch today. Maybe I'm missing something that you got right on the radar. All right, there's definitely going to be one of those days where keep those stocks flowing out there, guys. I can set some alerts out there. I'll keep watching some different stocks. The VIX dropping fast. SPY now dropping a little bit here, pulling back, giving us some opportunity. We'll see what happens. All right, catching up with the chat. Nothing in there. Let's move. Let's move. Let's go to Honeywell. Honeywell dipping, of course, and this could actually come back, but let's see. Honeywell, big first dip on the action, right? That was right there at 6:15. They dipped after mixed report earnings here, and it definitely is a little bit mixed here. So we'll see what happens with Honeywell. While the earnings per share did beat the expectations of 258 versus 250s, the revenues came in slightly below. This is a trend that I'm seeing in the earnings, where the EPS beats, but the revenues don't. And why is that? I think that companies are purposely pushing their margins, but they're not meeting their revenue expectation because of that, right? So they're trying to push on the EPS side, not push so much on the revenue side, because the demand is probably not as strong, but the pricing is, right? The price adjustment is helping them keep that EPS higher. Revenues struggled in the aerospace and industrial automotive sectors, contributing to the decline. Of course, this is, I think, more demand issues there. All right, let's keep moving. Let's go to you're clear for takeoff. American Airlines. Who's flying American? Well, you guys know Money Mitch was trying to trade American just last week, right? Before the UAL report came in, and boom, there it goes. So now we're getting some more updated reports here, right? And AAL did take a little bit of a hit on this, but look how quickly it's coming back here. So American Airlines boosted its profit forecast, now expecting up to $1.60 per share in 2023, above the estimates. And CEO Robert Issam credits a revamped sales strategy aimed at regaining business travelers. And Q3 adjusted earnings hit 30 cents per share versus 16 cents expected, with $13.6 billion in revenue. The feedback from corporate clients has been positive, driving the optimism in the holiday season. And there it is, guys, already coming back. This is one definitely to keep on the radar. But that's not the only one clear for takeoff. Let's go take a look at Love. Southwest Airlines is definitely beginning to move as of late. And now this trend line is really starting to come into play. One thing is for certain, though, it keeps trying to make a bigger move, but can't really break out above the 33s. So keep your eyes on 32s if you can get back up there. Southwest Airlines Love. Q3 profits dipped, but still beat the expectations at 15 cents per share. Revenues reached $6.7 billion, 5% up 5% year over year. Southwest also plans seat assignments, right? Goodbye to open seating here. So if you like the open seating situation on Southwest, well, that will soon be changing. And they're buying back, of course, $250 million in their stock adding to new directors, also fending off Elliott Investment Management today and announcing that their CEO will remain. They did give up some seats, right? I think it was about 6 seats, but something definitely to look at. Expect stronger holiday bookings and major changes by 2027. So we'll see what happens there in Southwest. Definitely on the support right now, around the $30. We'll see if it's able to hold. SPY and the Qs now starting to come down, and just like that, guys, this is what I'm talking about, how things just get a little bit too far, right? A little bit too far. So pull back here is kind of almost necessary, right? I mean, you are far from yesterday's low. Yesterday's low in the SPY was down there towards 574.41s. You're pretty much what? You're a full percent off of that. So we'll see what happens there in the SPY. Let's move over to Boeing as the disaster continues in Boeing. Oh my God, how is this company staying alive? Well, we'll see if it just flushes right through 150. You guys remember that I talked about, watch out for this going right back up here with the strike mentions sounding like they were coming down and sounded like they got a good deal. Well, the strike, the labor agreements and the labor team said, you know what? The workers said, I want more money, guys. So Boeing machinists reject the new labor deal, extending their 5-week strike. This ongoing stoppage is costing the company $1 billion per month. So if it's already been a 5-week strike, if they extend it another 3-week, that would mean that this will cost Boeing $2 billion in the strike alone, right? So watch for the impact coming up in the future earnings report, not this earnings report, right? It already went through. It'll show up in the next one, and that one is going to be looking atrocious. So I want nothing to do with Boeing, and if anything, this one should get a takedown, and we'll see what happens there. All right, let's move over to UPS. UPS is really good news out there, guys. I've talked about how they have a lot of competition, but look at the reaction today, and this is a really good indicator on the overall economy for the time being, at least for Q4. And you guys know I've been in the camp that at some point recession concerns will come back in, but right now it's not it. And with this mention of UPS really getting that lift, I think you start to see FedEx make another gap fill, right? I think this one was already working its way to the gap fill. And look at the gap fill on this bad boy. This is going to be one of the top plays in the swing outlook today. Look at that, guys. There's a huge gap to fill with that UPS report. It could get there. So United Parcel Services exceeded the expectations here with an EPS of $1.76, beating the estimate of $1.63. The company's sales came in at $22.2 billion, showing resilience in the challenging economic conditions. So definitely a good report here for UPS. We'll see how far it can go, right? I mean, that's a big, big push. Look at the gap fill on this bad boy. We drew this on when? When did we drew this? We drew this on 8/23, originally on August 23rd. And look at the gap fill there. UPS right back up. These gap fills sometimes, guys, they're some of the best plays out there, right? It takes a long time usually to fill some of these gaps, especially the really big ones. But look at that. You're right back up there in UPS today. All right, we'll see what else is out there. Catching up with you guys in the chat. Tesla ripping. Fun. fun. All right, we'll take a look at all the ones you guys are looking at today. Had to walk away to keep the profits and relax. Yeah, take that money. Take that money. Morning already profitable pre-market. Xena, CCTG. Love to hear it, team. Get that money today, guys. And, of course, VKTX did have some good earnings. Looks to be a nice swing if it can break out for the next leg up. We'll see what happens there. It's a good day for it, right? All right, guys, smash the like out there. We've had a really good day talking about a lot of the things that are out there. We'll continue to look for some market action. You guys, smash the like. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's get the live trading action started here. I got to roll my sleeves up, even though there ain't no really sleeves. But I'll tell you what, guys, I'm ready to get after it. Got my Patience Panda on today, so got to be patient, but ready to get that money. Of course, great day bouncing back yesterday in the main account. Of course, down Monday, 500. Up yesterday, 600. So let's keep it going. Let's keep rocking. Let's see what we can do today. And of course, the limited account, also a really good trade yesterday. So we're ready to keep it moving. Of course, you guys know the limited account. I've been trying to get closer to that 1350. Right now, hanging out at 294.75. Got to keep it rocking and rolling. Let's get after it today. You know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool.
Google wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What's up out there, traders? How we doing? It's good to see you guys. I hope you guys are ready for another bright day here. Of course, get into the trading action and ready to get after that money today, guys. It's another beautiful day today, right? So ready to see what we can come up with, see where the money goes, all right, looking around. 48.23. What else can we come up with today, guys? VXX looking interesting. See if we can get some continued downside in that today. Definitely yesterday, guys, I sold my piece way too early. So I made 600 on the trade yesterday, and that was, pretty decent. But really, I sold a little early, guys. If I would have held on to break even and just let the VXX ride like it was yesterday, I missed out on $2.30. Just think about it. I had 1,500 shares. That was an extra $3,000. So we'll see what happens there, man. It is what it is, and just going to keep battling. But that's what I wanted to show you guys, because the truth is when I get to this big sizing, a lot of people start, the back and forth, and I can't blame them, right? Because the truth is as I get to this big sizing, it's hard to hold, break even, hard to take these trades. Sometimes we're going to take the hit, but if we can hold and really go for that risk to return and get that return, well, it's going to just kind of knock these down trades. It should knock off like 3 or 4 of them, right? So yesterday just ran to the profits a little quickly there, right? And I need to work on that. That's where I'm telling you guys I'm trying to make improvements on. One of the habits, of course, this week is trying to cut break even a little bit more and get right back in, right? And that's not something that's easy for a lot of traders. You got to be able to get rid of the idea and then get right back in it. That's where a lot of traders sometimes won't cut the trade because they feel like they lost. And losing sometimes feels like a negative thing. But the truth is that losing sometimes is just about protection. It's just about more long, I can't risk at this moment. But when the stock comes back up ripping, well, I want to be a part of that trade, right? So you got to understand that as you get bigger and bigger size, one of the things that can easily happen is you start to attach yourself to the position. And you're saying, well, I got this big of a size. I just need this little bit more. Just want to see it go. Let me wait a second. No, that's easily when we start getting wrecked with bigger size, because as you get bigger and bigger, I think you want to necessarily tighten down on the risk side, because when you get these quick sweeps against you, that's easily how you just get this really big hit against you and all your hard work goes to waste, right? So just trying to keep continuing to learn. We'll see what happens out there. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what else is out there. All right. Looks like I was going to maybe have a guess, but no worries about that. Just going to continue pushing forward. UPS pushing up there, 145.73. Can we keep it moving there? We'll see what happens. This is a little bit too far for me on UPS, so I'm expecting a little pullback there. SPY looking good, though, holding the 580.80s. We could just continue ripping today. Apple, will Apple make a nice move today? That's one on that's on radar. It's down there to 230.50s right now. We'll look to see if it gets a nice little spike before the gates here. And a little bit of some chop here right before the gates. We'll see what happens. Smaller name, Xena, making a little bit of a move here. Let me take a look here at it. All right, guys, towards 302, 301. Can we get to 350 today, guys? So a couple moves up, a couple moves down. You got in that nice up one, down one, up two, down two, up three. Holding in right now. Let's see if it can hold this pullback towards 270 and make that attempt through 3 to 350. This one's in play, definitely moving today. We'll look for some other plays, of course, in the smaller caps, but not a bad one there. CCTG also on the radar there. Not a bad move here through 3, pulling back now, though. Take a look at the hourly, though. Right on the 9 EMA. So this is an area where it could recover eventually and get back through 3. I'd be watching for it. Just needs to kind of hold this hourly low, 266, as that low. Maybe it undercuts or hits it at the gates and then starts to make its move to 350. But not a bad one. We'll see what happens there. CCTG. Of course, there's some of the Tesla trades, right? The ETFs, TSLL. That's a way of trading the Tesla trade. If you want to take that trade there, you guys can see it. But this only goes, even this morning when Tesla moved 6 points, this only moved 2.64 points, right? So even though this is leveraged 2 times X the share, it's not moving 2 times X the volatility, right? It's moving essentially on its own different calculations there. And that's the problem there because the price differential. So that's the one thing that I would say about these 2x leverage trades. I'd rather trade the actual name like Tesla itself. But that's just my outlook because just the way that it trades, it just doesn't seem like the best trade there. But hey, who knows, you guys? Honestly, I don't do too great on those 2x leverage names for single stocks. I just don't find them the necessary vehicles for day traders. Maybe for swing traders, they're a little bit better. One trade I'll definitely be looking to see if it can turn around is BABA, guys. I am red on this trade in the swing account, but just trying to hold in because this is one of the trades that I feel can really make the swing account where I could get, $2,000-$3,000 on that. So I'm going to be hanging in right now. We'll see if it can hold 96 today. Just want to mention that because I am watching some of the China trade and I don't want anyone to miss it. If we get a big green day today in the China trade, we'll see what happens. Right now, I'm not feeling too confident that I timed the buy-in perfectly, but I'm watching for it. It needs to hold the 61.8 retracement, which is the golden mean. We'll see what happens there on BABA. Fun. What's going on with Fun? It's pulled back off of the 1285s. Could continue going today. I saw this one as a short yesterday, but it did come back ramping towards the end of the day. So let's see if it can get back above 1350s. If not, I don't like it as much, but there's other names that will be moving also. QS is one that I'll put on the radar as a smaller name that could get moving. Of course, this one's already moved a significant amount in the pre-market, about 20%. But this is one that does have some pretty interesting conversation. Of course, QuantumScape is more into your battery play, right? So keep your eyes on this. Not a bad one to watch. Could start moving towards $7, $8 and going back there towards $9 on a long run. Definitely a risk on type of day to start the pre-market. We'll see what happens in the actual market. It does look like it's a growth type of day. So names like, let's say like Unity could get a nice little lift. You got to look for those type of growth names today that could be pushing strong. A lot of them could be making a little bit of a move. Tempest AI, no, I don't believe in that one right there. But I'll be looking around, guys. What do you guys have on the radar out there? How's Tesla moving now? Let's take a look at it. Tesla 244, 244.30s. I don't see too much more on this right now. At least it looks like it's slowing down a little bit. We'll look for some pullbacks, but the Qs are staying strong here. That's for sure. Qs right back up there to 492.75. Look for stocks that were beat down that maybe bounce back today. ASML is a perfect example, right? Super beat down there almost to 700. On the report, it was down to 683s. Could start to recover a little bit today. We'll see what happens on a name like this. I'd use this as kind of like an indicator. If I could get a real strong day on ASML, well, then you'll have a lot of these semiconductor equipment names starting to bounce back, like AMAT, right? Like Micron, like Marvell is one that I'd be watching to make a nice little push higher. So keep your eyes on that, right? I think these are definitely names to kind of keep a watch, especially if we start to kind of push back. LRCX, right? Lam Research, all those types of names could get a nice little lift today. KLIC. So keep your eyes on that action. Semiconductor equipment and material stocks, something to watch. Upwork for potential short. It depends. I mean, I understand why you'd be looking at this as a potential short. I think this kind of gives you more maybe an inside day. You could get a pullback to 12. I don't know if it's going to cut 1170 today, but one to keep an eye out. Definitely a nice little spike there. It depends on the day that the market is because it's on riding euphoria right now. At least that's when I'm seeing it. You can see the Q's starting to make a little bit of a move to the upside. It's a small one, but starting to turn things around there. 492s shook that little downturn at 9 a.m. and now it's going to probably make it. I'll look for a move here around here before the bell, right? Will it get back towards that 493.24? Just kind of like an easy area to look at right now. All right, we'll see if we get to that push today, man. What a day yesterday with that kind of, we'll say, fake out to the downside because it didn't really hold, right? But, hey, looking around, guys, what else do you guys got today? BIVI, I see showing up on the scanners a little bit. We'll keep looking around for some of these smaller names today, especially if they can get a big lift. All right, what else we got out there? What else we can talk about? Of course, I'll be watching to see what happens in some of the oil stocks. Oil stocks have been going nowhere right now. Industrials are an area that I got to continue to watch. I still think this deer makes a nice move above the 410s. I'm just not getting it right on the support days, right? So I've bought it a couple times for the breakout. That's where it's a little bit tough. I got to wait. I got to wait either for a real breakout or just try to get it off the support near the 400. Q's now making a downturn. So the chop is coming as we get closer and closer towards the bell. All right, we'll see if for some reason we do go red today. That'd be surprising, especially a big red, especially after the start of today. But we'll see. Tesla definitely has had its run already. I'll look for a little bit of a pullback out the gates. I don't want to short Tesla today because that doesn't really make sense, but looking for some pullback. It's up 14%. Yeah, not many times where you get Tesla to go 14 and then 20% after that. I don't think so. Peloton, not a bad one that could get a little lift today. It's continued the strength. That's one thing's for certain. It's made its way back here. Could make a move to maybe like 7. I just don't know how much more it has. What does it report to? That's one thing I'd keep on the radar. But right now, it has been continuing the strength. You look in the daily pattern, it's held the 90 MA every time, that light blue line. And the last, like from the 14th on, right? So as long as it can hold that, you're looking good. Let's see if it holds kind of this resistance of $6 today and makes a way to $6.50. It's not a bad one. It's just not standing out to me. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep talking out there. Keep throwing up some stocks. As you guys can see, I'm a little tired today. I'm sorry if I yawn a little bit today, guys. The boys were keeping me up last night. Let's just say that much. It was one of those long nights, and that's just part of it, right? The life of having twins is not for the faint of heart. Let me just tell you guys that. So if you're ever thinking about having kids and you're thinking maybe twins would be fun, well, it is fun, but hard work, I'll tell you that much. All right, we'll see what else is out there. SMCI. That's not a bad one to get a lift today. And we'll see if that one can keep pushing. It has pulled back the last 2 days. Let's see if it gets a nice little push to the upside. All right, looking around, taking a look to see what else is making a move. How's Drug doing? Drug not moving just yet, but I'll be watching it. It's just spread out right now. Looking to see if we get that spike to 50 today. Verb. Verb's the word. We'll see if that gets moving today. Definitely another one that I'd keep on the watch. This one recently had made a spike. Let's see if it makes another spike, right? I had QS on my list, but it's acting like a meme, so I skipped. Yeah, it is acting like a meme. It is a kind of more of that meme stock. So maybe not up your alley, but hey, just keep looking for another one, right? Maybe a little bit higher quality name you're looking for. What else is out there, Nando? What you got here? J&J is about to break out. Weekly chart looks nice. Thoughts? I got you, Nando. Sorry I missed that a little earlier. Let's take a look at Johnson & Johnson. Daily chart, you can see, let's just take this off. Let's go. You said weekly chart. Let's start with a weekly. I like that outlook. All right, weekly chart here has an extended move. And one thing you notice on the weekly, without looking at the action right now, is that it has a tendency of doing what? These kind of like quick up moves, quick down moves, right? You can see up on like a couple of weeks. What was it? 2 months. Then 2 months, then 6 months on the downside. Then on the upside, 3 months. Then on the downside, 2 months. Then on the upside, 4 months. Then on the downside, 4 months, right? So you see long swings in the weekly, right? Now we're on a weekly upswing, right? And so how much more can we get? We've been having a move right now about 2 months. So maybe another 2 months here and for Johnson & Johnson to keep going higher. And you are breaking out on that weekly, right? You are starting to approach that break towards the 170. But you really got to clear this area, right? You got to go into like this area and really start to push to call it a breakout. So right now, I think you've had that approach. Now let's see if you can get the volume that you need to really break it out, right? So you want to be seeing the volume increase into the move here, not decrease. And you can see the volume has had a little spike here as of late when this kind of got the volume down here. Volume's been slowing down a little bit into the move. I'd like to see a nice little spike day. You did see some buying on this day, which was Friday. So now I'd keep an eye out. Oh, that was last week. Last week, you saw some good buying. Let's see if that can continue through, last week's high. Last week high on the 15th, 166.75. That's an important level to take today. Take that high where you got the good volume. That could have been buyers. Let's see if you go through that and you get those people to add through the 170. It's not a bad one to watch, Nando. I'll keep it on the radar, especially back towards that trend line, 167.66, back up there. Something definitely to look at. It's looking good right now. It's holding in. Let's see if it takes the next step. Does today's, let's take a look here. I can't see this one. Does today's live starting trade at New York AM? Yes, always. Always let me trade. We start at, market opens at 9:30. It's 9:21 right now. That's in the Eastern time, right? That's what I always think about the market. Ooh, the patience panda looking good today. Let's go, guys. You got to be patient out there today. I think that's what we're going to need to be. All right, let's take a look here. What's being mentioned? Trader, can you take a look at Tesla and show us some levels to watch? Yeah, Kevin, I've taken a look at it before, but let's go ahead. Let's take a look at it one more time right before the bell. FJF, it's good to see you in the chat. Tesla, what's up? What's up with Tesla? Of course, you went into the gap zone. So now, what do you take a look at? Don't look at where Tesla is today. That's where a lot of traders get it twisted. They look at the action where it is today. Look to the left. Where has the resistance been? Where has the support been? Let's just be honest. Well, the support is this long trend line now where you're starting to get these kind of bounces on and you're getting recovery, right? So this is the support right here. If we ever break this, this is where you got to be concerned. So at this point, I'm going to draw this as the red line, right? This is a long-term approach, right? Not the short-term approach, right? So that's the support that's holding on. We've had 3 touches, 1, 2, 3. Now that's the support. Now, where is the resistance on this chart, right? Take a look at the weekly for that, right? You can see how we did break out on the weekly, right? We did go for a weekly long approach where we broke out, went for an approach back up above and failed. Now we're starting to hold that approach. So that's a really good outlook. We've undercut it, just quickly scooped out of that area. Now you could start seeing some buying really coming in Tesla. At least that's what the chart is showing. So at this point, these don't make sense. So I'll take that off here. Let's go back now to the daily approach, right? Now we got to take a look here. We just filled the gap. So that's one thing that I'd take a look at. Pullbacks to 232 are going to be interesting. What's the next upside level to look at? Well, there was a big resistance right around the 249.83. So I'll round that up just to 250 just to make it easy, right? You can round that up to 250. That's what I would do at least. So 250 is kind of that resistance today that I'd be watching on the chart to see if maybe we run into a little bit of some resistance there. But you're at 244, so you still got a little bit of ways to get there. After 250, we start running towards the 265s and 262s. So this could keep pushing and rocking and rolling right now. The only thing I think it needs, though, is some kind of like 15-minute pullbacks, right? So you see here how you're pushing. You came back and you recollected. That's what I'll be looking for now. Can we come back here and recollect? So maybe down towards the 240s out the gates and then right back up, right? So this is 239.80s. Back below 241 will be something I'll be watching for on Tesla. Upside action is through the 245, but be careful just pushing and trying to buy it there because you could instantly get a pullback to the VWAP back down towards the 240s, as that's what makes sense on the hourly levels, right? So those are levels to look at. 250 is that real breakout. We just want to continue dragging, moving with Tesla, something that I'll be watching. All right, looking for a little bit of some futures action. Let me trade. You're looking to short GBP and USD. Do you have any advice? Well, I'm not the futures type of guy. Let me trade. But what I'd be watching in that situation is probably just the US dollar, seeing how that moves today. But of course, it could be going against the market, right? So watching the correlation between, let's say, maybe the NQ and the dollar, right? Maybe the VIX, right? How's that affecting today? Of course, keeping an eye on the TLT, things like that. But let me trade. I am not the currency expert. I will say that. Just not up my alley, right? It's not what I trade often, but I'm always going to tell you what I can and not trade or what I'm good at. That's not really my cup of tea. All right, Kevin, I'm glad you appreciated that. Let's get ready for the open here, guys. 9:26. We're almost to the bell here, guys. Definitely going to continue watching the action. We're pulling back now on the Qs, and that's what can happen, right? A lot of times I've talked about this, how the overnight action can go a little bit too far, and now we're on a little bit of a pullback. So I'm watching for pullbacks out the gates. I almost expect it, really. But we'll see what happens now. I think we got to watch for the chop out the gates and then look to see if we get the big rip. If it just rips higher, who knows? Maybe it's just like, you know what? We're not going to give you guys a chance to buy it. It can go two ways here today. All right, we'll see what else is out there. FJF, what you got on the radar out there? What are you looking at? All right, guys, keep throwing up the stocks you guys are watching out there. I see a lot of new traders. Say hello if you're new to the show. All right, we'll be watching to see what we can come up with in multiple accounts. That's the fun part, right? I'll be looking to play some smaller names, of course, in the limited account. Been doing pretty well on those. And, of course, in the main account, looking to try to play some higher quality names. Qs continuing to drop here as we come closer towards the open. All right, there's a little bit more of a leak, and that's going to probably pull back Tesla some. There's Tesla already pulling back off the 245, and I talked about the pullback coming in potentially for Tesla before, right? When we just started the show. And since pretty much 9 a.m., we started to really fall off that 245. Still looking for 240s on the pullback, so watching for that action. That's going to be a hard pullback out the gates. Could it go to the lower level, the 236? And then you get to move back up. So I don't think it's just going to be straight up out the gates. I think we get hard down and then to move higher. Qs coming down fast to 492.15s, just breaking the pre-market low, right? Oh, no, not the pre-market low. Pre-market low is down towards 5 a.m. low. But we're breaking down pretty good from the kind of the 7 a.m. kind of push higher now towards the 492s. SPY also dropping fast here right before the gates. And why is that? That's just to scare some traders. Let's see what happens here. See if they get your emotions going. Get ready for the bell, guys. It's 9:28. We're about to see the action go. All right, you're new to the show. It's good to see you, man. It's definitely good to see some new faces. I always love to see some new faces, Jags, and you threw up some stocks. I'll try to keep those on the radar for you. I saw Upwork, Peloton. Let me know if anything else is on your radar. I'll definitely keep an eye out for it. And like always, we can all help each other, right? Especially alert each other, not to necessarily getting in at a spot, but just, hey, this stock is moving. You might want to take a look, right? That's what we're all looking for, right? At the end of the day, we're looking for stocks to move. That's how we make the money. All right, let's get after it. Let's go make that money. You guys know what it is. It's time, guys, to get after it. Stay safe out there, traders. We'll see what we can come up with. It's All right, guys, get ready. The market's about to open. There it goes. There she blows. Be careful out there, traders. It's going to be a pretty fast open here. That's what I'm expecting. Stay safe out there. All right out the gates here, looking at the SPY and the Qs to see what goes on this, but definitely watching it here. Let's see what we can do. Q's first action kind of sideways here. Watching the VXX out the gates here to see if we get some kind of spike, some kind of like small spike here, because it's already pulled back a significant amount here. It's spreading out a little bit here in the morning, and also with the drug with a first move on the downside. So giving that kind of red to green approach here, if I wanted to try to take it right out the gates here, we'll see what happens. The spread on drug though is still too wide there for me, so I'm watching out the gates there. Q's straight down out the gates now. A little bit of a fake out to the downside there. We'll see if it's an actual real breakdown here. Tesla trying to make a little bit of a spike, could pull back there though. Tesla is trying to get a spike above the 245s, 246. Q's down there now towards 491.54s. SPY also down there. There's the VXX getting a small little spike there towards 52.75. We could see a little bit more here if we still could get a little bit more spike here. I might go for a little bit of a scalp right quick here on the VXX. It would be a scalp though, and so that's one thing I'd say. It's just kind of trying to play the momentum really quickly here. I'm looking at it right now, see off the VXX, see if I take a little bit of a scalp on the upside here. Saw it there. 52.70s is an area that I'd look at. I'd see it go to like maybe 53s. So just looking at it to maybe risk off the 52.60 spot here. It'd be about 150 in risk. Q's starting to come back here. Definitely expecting the upside action, but after a little bit of a pullback, and I'm already missing it there, right? Like I was thinking about taking 1,000 shares there, right? Even if I get the spike right there, I'm already up there closer towards $200, right? So I had the opportunity there. Was just a little bit of hesitant there. I will say that I hesitated there a little bit. Got to be honest, right? I'm always honest with you guys. I had the opportunity there. Now towards 52.93s, would have rolled this up to 53s. I would have been waiting a minute, right, so that I could get through that 1 minute. But look at that, 52.96 already. Could break through 53, right? That would be $300 already, guys. So not a bad little trade right off the start here. SMCI up about 1%. Looking to see what's leading the up action there. Cleveland Cliff having a decent day. If I look at the sectors overall, communications, energy getting a spike today. Healthcare, what's in the red? Barely anything, guys. Basic materials and technology, and that's more of a pullback that I'm seeing out the gates. Industrials are looking good also today, so I'll be watching Deere to see if it goes through that 410. Not a bad move already out the gates there. All right, looking at some of the smaller names, TG. Looking at that one right now, it just kind of bounced off the 250s, starting to recover. It doesn't look too bad. That maybe it makes an approach to 3 today. Pulling back off the 270s. We'll see if it really gets going. It at least has some share size, and it's at the top, right? So we'll see if we get some bounce right now. Missed that VXX trade. Now that went there towards 53.16. That was a really good trade right there, guys. So I could have got that really quick money right there, right? 1,000 shares getting in there at that what would have been 52.70s to 53.16s. That right there is $400 within itself. I think that's the pullback that we get right out the gates. Now I'm looking to play some pullbacks and see what we get. All right, so I'm in the limited account. Might take a shot here in CCTG. Looks interesting off the 270s. Will it recover to 280s and take 3? Looking around at some of the smaller names to see how those are playing. I'm seeing Xena pulled back. That one's pulled back there. QS is another one that's doing pretty well, and I've talked about QS. It's doing awesome right now. 610 pullback, $6 pullback is what I mentioned in the pre-market. Holding that $6 right now. Recovered that 650s. Could go to 7 today, so I'm watching it right now off the 650s. It's looking good off that bounce off the 630s. Could just break through the 650s here and make a move here. Doesn't look bad at all here. Let me see if I can get the 640s pullback on QS. Q still leaking there. VXX at the 53.09. QS holding in right now. Looks like it's just about to break through the 650s. I just don't want to just buy the high right now and to get caught off the 650s. CCTG already 280s there, so that's actually looking good also. So just got to decipher which one I want to take. What's the better opportunity? CCTG is already going for the move towards 3. Just got there to the 295s. What's looking at it, the 270 spot there. Looked good off this 266, already there to the 295 spot. So definitely hesitating here. Just trying to look around, trying to find the stocks here and missing the move right now. CCTG towards $3 there. Will it get the $3 pop here? We'll see what happens, but nice little first spike there on CCTG. QS at the 650 spots and kind of going sideways there. We'll see if it takes the next step up. There goes the 650s. They're trying to take it on QS, and there it is through the 650s, now 660s there. So that's continuing here. Definitely slowing my momentum today as I'm not jumping in as fast here today. Could be I'm a little bit tired, but definitely missing some of this trade action right out the gates here. QS now to 660s, continuing, looking good there. CCTG did couldn't get through that $3, now towards 311. So both of those trades, 3 trades already mentioned, pretty good setups. I'm just a little slower to react today. Maybe it's a slower action as I'm just not as sharp today, guys. I'm a little tired. I can tell you guys that. I can see the market action. I'm just not reacting as fast. Tesla 248 and continuing, almost a 250 continuation there. So look at that, guys. Spike towards down action. 242. It didn't make it to the 240 spot. You did get a little spike on the downside, but now you're going up for the 250 rip out. The Qs could recover really quickly here. Apple, we talked about how that could be a long today. That's recovered. Red to green action on Apple. Really nice action there on Apple as it starts to recover. That's going to start to look downside action in the VXX. I'm going to look to short this thing. Looking for one more down attempt in the Qs and the SPY to kind of hold in and then start to reverse things at the 945 spot. So 945, we'll look for reversals on the downside in the VXX. That's one trade that I'll be watching for. Need to keep watching the market action here. SPY is down still. The Qs are still down, but the market is up. And that's where it gets a little bit confusing. What's dragging us, right? That's one thing to look at. Industrials in the red, basic materials and technology in the red. Can technology go back to green? That's one thing I'm watching for. Take a look at some of the bigger names to kind of find what's up there. And those are the ones that you want to maybe be trading, right? CCTG holding that 313. Man, what a nice move there. I just missed it. So watching around out there. CLS, that's a big mover there. Looking around to try to find some good trades out there. CareMax, CMAX making a little bit of a move today. What's up in the Qs here? T-Mobile, O'Reilly getting a little bit of a spike. Lam Research, I talked about how maybe the semiconductor equipment stocks could be a good sign that those stocks are starting to make a decent move. Look to see if ASML can recover here. That's something to take a look at. Looking around, guys, QuantumScape got there to 665, so it didn't make it a crazy breakout, but a nice little breakout. I'd look for a pullback to 625 on that one. If it comes back to 625s, I will take a shot on that, but only at that level. CTGG back to the $3 there. I just got an alert there. Drug, guys, just starting to make the move now. All right, guys, got to move over to the limited account. That's where I want to take drugs. So right now I'm trying to take about 100 shares here in a second here. I'll go to 50 shares. I need to do a little bit tighter on this, maybe even 25 shares and then going in at a different rate, because that's the problem with drug is the spread. Got to be careful with that spread right now.
All right, so looking for some quick pullback action here. I'm looking where the levels are where I really want to get in on drug. It's closer towards the 47 pullback right now so that I could risk off the 46. So I could take some right here and then try to add on the pullback. So I'm looking for the slightest pullback here to take a little bit of a starter on drug. You guys know it's on my radar today. It was on the playbook. Ready to play it today, guys. So let's see what I can do. All right, looking for a little bit of some pullback action on this. I need some pullback and some volume coming in on that pullback. See the daily trying to get back through 50. That's going to be the big level to watch, really, when it gets back through 50. There we go. Some volume starting to come in there around the 48s. 48s, it's trying to get some buys right now. There's now 49 there starting to show up there. So I'm looking to try to get in, but no pullback right now to get in here. All right, just put out an order at the 48, trying to get filled at 48s, but that's on pullback here, guys. 49.55 is already showing up there in drug, and drug can move fast here. So I'm trying to get an entry, but on pullback, right? That's what I want to do. Separating out the orders, 25 shares at 48, 25 shares at 47, trying to get filled on the pullback. Seeing the SPY and the Qs, now the Qs approaching some downside action. I would like to see the Qs make one more downside approach here and then see the VXX spike one more time. Then I'll look to short it on the VXX, especially if we can start making an up move and continue the move. Tesla 249 now, guys. So Tesla continuing very strong there, guys. Looking for a pullback here on drug to get it in on the limited account. Only throwing out like 25 shares at a time there. Taking a look there, CCG is right back down below $3, so be careful on that one. SMCI of about 2%, so keep an eye on that. Seeing what's leading the day. What's leading the day, I got utilities and real estate. Real estate having a really good day there. Some names having some decent day in real estate today. All right, SPY and Qs still dragging a little bit there. That VXX move on the upside would have been a great play right out the gates. It had to be right out the gates. It had to be fast. But now I'm looking for one more spike up there towards maybe even 53.30s, and then going to look for a turnaround actually on this. Would look to see the Qs spike down and then look for the reversal here. I want to see the Qs make a down attempt to even maybe break that low and then come back. Tesla still holding in there. Apple is on the pullback right now. I'd love to see Apple come and make a double low around that level. And then I can definitely play it for the upside here. Make an attempt back towards like 229 and then start coming back. That's what I'll be watching for in Apple. NVIDIA could rock and roll, do a double bottom around the 140. AMD is another one that has that momentum style. This just recovered 154. It actually made the down attempt earlier. I feel like it's already on the up action, trying to recover here. Doesn't look too bad at all off the 154 level. Let's see if it starts to work back through 155, 156 available to it. AMD already scooping back here. Looks pretty good there, guys. It's one that I'd actually keep on the radar there. ARM looking good also. So AMD, pretty good move here. Drug still ripping here, still pushing, guys. I'm trying to get in on this thing, but there's no pullback just yet. All right, guys, I'm just going to have to step up to the plate here. Looking for some pullback below 49s here, but there it is to 50, guys, already to 50. So I'm looking for some kind of pullback on this, but no pullback just yet on drug. All right, guys, I'm going to take a little bit here. 25 shares there, not a crazy amount. I'm still looking to get pullback fills here. So we'll look to see if we get some pullback fills, but I don't want to miss the move if it goes to 70. So even with 25 shares, I'll take a little starter there and try to start working the position. All right, they're already getting a little bit of a spike in drug towards 50, 70s now, and drug just on an up move here, guys. So a little part of me is thinking about stepping up here and adding to the position, already closer towards 51 for the breakout, and it could go into a halt, right, and just keep ripping today. So I don't mind adding to this, guys. I'm going to take a shot today on limited account. This is going to be a tough trade. This is not a beginner trade by any means. All right, guys, I think it's jumping in the momentum right now. I'm just stepping up to the plate. I just grabbed 50 shares now, right? I got to be careful with this name, but just grabbing 50 shares now, guys. I have 50.64, looking for the rip above $51 for it to just start ripping here. A big part of this is now that I just don't feel like it's getting the momentum for pullbacks. Of course, pullbacks, I'll look to fill. I have an order at 48 and 47 to get some more fill. But that's on a pullback fill. If it doesn't pull back, hey, so be it. Look at the spread on that bad boy now. The spread is wide, guys. Wide open there, guys. It's just trying to collect some volume. VXX getting that next spike. Here comes the Qs. So I'm going to leave this drug on, guys. We'll see what happens with this. Taking a shot here in the limited account. This was on the playbook, so I'm taking the shot on that. Let's go back to the VXX trade that I talked about with the Qs coming down towards the lows. That's what I want to look at. Let's see if we actually do get a downside break here. Tesla's still strong. Apple's coming down back towards that level that I talked about, the 229 recovery, something that I'll look at here. But definitely the Qs looking like a pretty weak here. Looking like we're going to approach the lows. SPY still really weak here. And that's what I talked about before the open, right? How they would love to stuff this right back to us, and how overnight, yeah, it looked great. Now it looks not that great. Now it looks like you're starting to approach. So where could the levels hold? Well, hourly lows are important here. You're starting to approach these levels areas. So somewhere in here, we're going to look for it to start slowing down. 578 to 578.13. So 578.80s to 578.13. Somewhere in there on the SPY, I could see it slowing down. It still has a little bit of room. So the same thing we'll approach for on the Qs. So that's the low there, 498.60s. And the high there on that action is 490.40s. So we're approaching that 490.40s right now on the Qs. That's going to be that first level where I think we could hold in. And I was looking for a little bit of a cut through and then a recovery. So that's actually a pretty good level to look at here. I'm going to look for that 490.40 recovery. Can we get to it and then just start to recover? That's the VXX short off this 53.30 area. I was looking at it. It just hit it just right now, 53.30s. We'll see if it starts to come right back down. $9.45 reversal, and where was that candle at? $9.46, just started going back up. 10 a.m. Will we start to get that reversal? It looks like we're already getting some action off of that 53.30s. I'm looking for a little bounce back up there, but it's getting whacked already, guys. So the bounce is coming in the Qs here. Let's see if we can get some type of up action so that I could get short here on the VXX. Would love to see a little push towards like 53.40s, and then boom, I can start hammering on it. I feel like people hammered on it right here. So right here, I feel like the traders were looking at a trade here. You can see the volume jump there. So I wasn't the only one watching that 53.30s. It could be bulls also trying to go long there for the breakout. Let's see what happens here. SPY still weak. Q's still weak here. What's going on, traders? How we doing? It's a crazy day. Hey, Mitch, do you have any video on setup or swing. Oh, I think a swing trade approach. Oh, I love that comment there. Definitely going to catch that comment in a second here. Just give me a second, Steph. We'll take a look at that here. Let me put it a little bit bigger. Do you have any videos online on setups and how to approach swing trading? I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a whole week on that next week. How about we do that? How about we focus strictly on swing trading next week? I know that we've been focusing a lot more on the day trading side of things. This is my bread and butter, so I really want to bring you like a real deep dive approach. We'll do that next week. Swing trade right here. Trade the pool. Don't go anywhere, guys. Hit that subscribe. We'll do a little bit of a deep dive. Every single day, I'm going to bring you something that you can do in a swing trade approach. And trust me, I love doing this, guys. More daily charts, more for the trader that can't be here all day. More for the trader that might have to be here for like 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes towards the close, that kind of thing. Hey, stay tuned, guys. All right, we just went back there to the 53.30s. We just went down to that spot there. I'm going to take a shot here, guys. All right, guys, just shorted it there at 53.20s. 53.20s, 1,000 shares here. Going to let it try to pop here, but it's okay. Just watching it here. I'm seeing the Qs go down to that level that I was looking at there. So watching the Qs in that spot there, 49, 490, 40s. You see how it wicked there, right? So now I'm watching more of that Q action. You could go down to this 489.60 level, but taking the first action there, BXX giving me a little bit more of that spike there, right? We'll see what happens. Should have been closer to the 53.30s. I did get a bad fill there. It feels like it just dropped right when I tried to get in. It was at 53.25s, 26, and then it dropped to 20. So a little bit of a bad entry there on my part. Should have been closer to the first entry, 53.30s, right? So that's why I'm not adding right now. I'm going to add as we break 53.09 or 53.10s. All right, guys, got to stop to add if it starts coming back to 53.09s here. Qs now starting to bounce a little bit there, and that's kind of what I want to see. Now I want to see the SPY get a bounce there. Starting to turn off that 53.30s, which is a good level. Drug pulled off that 50 spot. It's back down to 49s. No ad for me just yet there on drug. I'm still watching, guys. Still got it in the limited account. We'll take a look at that in a second here. Just watching the Qs, see if we can get back above the 491s. All right, what's going on out there, guys? How we doing? Swing trade week. Let's go. Looks like Baba is becoming mama. What happened with Baba? Woo. Yeah, it's on the down pressure. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm adding at 95.80s. I already had it out there, but that's the last ad I can do on the swing trade. I'll be holding towards it now. Definitely won't let it cut like 93. If it cuts 93, I'm out of that bad boy. It's been an ugly one. I tried to swing trade on this one. We'll talk a little bit more about it, and especially next week. This is the approach that I kind of love talking about, so definitely stick around, guys. We got a lot to talk about. All right, taking a look at the VIX. Now the Q is starting to come back, so that looks great there for me. I could add right here at the 53.30s, but need to really see the action really start to show up there. The Qs are back to 491.10, so that's at least a good sign there. SPY starting to come back also, so looking for these first levels to start maybe playing a little bit of some pullback opportunities here. Let's see if we can start to see this start to crumble. So the Qs held that 490.40 really well. Now I want to see if they get back above VWAP, approach the 492s, maybe the 493 for a breakout. Apple's another way to trade this too, right? The 229, nice dip there. Now we're recovering. I like Apple today. We'll see what happens on drug. I still got a piece of that, guys, on the limited account. Looking for the up action in the market to go and add to drug at like maybe 51 if it really takes off. But right now I have ads down in 48s and 47s, looking for those pullbacks to give me an opportunity to get a better average. We'll see what happens there. VXX now getting into the green there. In a second, I might get my ad here. So looking to see what happens here. The stop is being targeted, I feel like, right now. So I just let it go for a second here. Let's see what happens here. It might add to VXX on the short side. All right, there's 5309s. It just would have triggered my stop there. So let's see if we go back to my entry, 5320s here. So now we're starting the breakdown process, right? I want to see if the Qs attempt to the downside one more time here and not break down. If they can do that and hold kind of the 9 EMA here and really start to break to the upside, we're looking good. So there's some upside approach. And now I'm looking for the Qs to see if they can do any down attempt here. No down attempt there in the Qs. So that's good sign there. That's good signs. All right, SPY trying to recover here. So is the Qs, and that's my sign. I'm going for it, team. All right, just looking for any bounce here to add to the short now. I'm going to add to the short at 53.11s here if I can get a little bounce here. Orders out to add another 1,000 shares there. It could just drop down here to the 53s, but I don't want to ruin my average too much. Would have got triggered on the stop. That might have been the better way to go about it. But hey, still got the 1,000 shares. It still could work there with the 1,000 shares. It could add here 500 shares. But I'm looking for some kind of bounce back here. Some attempt down in the queue, but not getting it right now. I mean, hey, if I don't get it and I just get the money, hey, money's green. Green is green, right? So. Taking a look at the approach, right back down towards like 5220s is really kind of more of the levels that I could look at with 1,000. So I'll be looking to make more like 500, 600 with this back towards 5260s. Here's that approach. I'm looking for some kind of pullback in the Qs to get that ad. All right, here comes a little bounce here on the Qs. Let's see what kind of bounce I get. There it's coming back for my entry here. So I just pulled it back. Got the fill there, but towards the 17. So nice fill there. Look, I'm at 5320s. Now I got to really be careful because this is big sizing here, guys. So just really got to be careful here. I'm in the green. Even back down through the 53s is going to be a good level to watch for now. Let's see if we break down back below the 53s. That's a big watch now for me. All right, getting this approach back here, and this is where I can't get I can't get too like pretty with it, right? I can maybe risk 1 cent here, 2 cents, but I'm not going to risk much more than that. Looking for this to break through the 53s on the downside. If it doesn't break the 53s, I'll just get out here. All right, let's see if it breaks the 53s. I need the Qs to come right back up here. Boom! Just got an alert there. I'll be looking around to see what happened there, but just bung in my ear there. Let's go, guys. Let's see what happens here on the VXX. Taking a shot here. What's up out there, traders? How we doing? What's up? Trying to be a patient panda here, man. 5310 showing up there, looking decent. If we can break the 53s here, let's see what happens here. Ready to break even if I need to. Set up here, set up for the win. Now it's about the Qs. Downside in the Qs, got to protect here. Downside coming in the Qs right now. I'm up about 180s. I'm about to just take the money and run if the Qs come down here. Come on, Qs. Recover that 9 EMA. We're not. We're pulling back off of it a little bit here. I'm just trying to see the 9 EMA recovery here. Not happening here, so just be careful. It is going to test back here a little bit. Back and forth action right now. Got to be careful here. Here comes the Qs for the upside approach. Recover that 9 EMA is what I'm looking for here. Can we get the breakout here? Qs slowing down a little bit there. Now we're getting the break attempt here. Here comes the Qs for the break up here. 491s. I want to see hold now. That's why I'm holding in here. I just want to see 491 holds here on the Qs. 491.04s. 491.07s. Just looking at the Qs. 50. Would like to see like 53.15s kind of hold right now on the VXX. There goes a nice push to 491.25s there. There goes an approach back on the Qs. Qs are recovering, so that looks good for me here. Where's the target profit here? Gotta know where I'm going towards. 52.70s is a good target profit. That's 900 there. Now we're getting this approach back on the Qs, so just got to be careful for whipsaws back here. SPY also pulling back here, so just got to be careful here. I'm up already a good amount, so I'm just watching it here. Want the Qs to continue, but it needs to hold that 491 pullback. It just did it, and then it came to approaching it, so be careful for whipsaws back. I'm short VXX here. Of course, you saw me play long VXX yesterday. All right, let's see what the Qs do now. 491.35s. Will we take the 491.50 here or back to 491? 491.35s approaching the break above the 491.50s. Can we get it? Want it to be a quick one here. Quick one, guys. Quick one. Let's see it. 491.40s. Can we get the action here? 491.43s. There we go. Good first action here on the break. Now definitely don't want to make it a losing position. You see how it whipsaws back. Be careful there. Could come all the way back on us. Just looking for the Qs to keep breaking out. 491.60s. That's good level. 491.69. Now looking good on the SPY too. Now look for 491.50s to hold on pullbacks. 491.50s. Looking at it for 491.48s, 491.46. Hold that 40s. Hold that 40s. Take the 50s again. There's 49.54s now. They're buying up the pullback on the Qs there. There's 49.61s, 49.65s. Looking good there for me. That's why I'm holding in right now. The Qs are riding higher and the SPY's now following. So the Qs are leading, especially with Tesla, right? With these tech names. I'm looking to see Apple take off, right? There's a good first action there now going towards 53s again. Now won't let it come back on me, guys. Now need to make sure at least I make like $100 here, but looking for that nice real breakdown here. If the Qs come back below the 491.50s, I'll just take the money. But now it's more about working back there. There's 492s almost there on the Qs. Looking great here on the first action there. Now up 350, now up 400. Let's see if we can really get that action here and make that money here. Looking for a nice expansion move here towards 52.75s. I'll take the money and run there, guys. I'm already putting out a target profit. Looking for some money here. BWAP could pull it back here, guys, so I'm just keeping a watch on it right now. Don't want it back through 53. It's approaching that 53 recovery. All right, guys, might just take the money here and run here. About to take 270 at 53.05s. I wanted to keep crapping here, but the truth is I want to take that profits too. So if I can get a little cushion today, it would be nice. All right, SPY's continuing, Qs are continuing, but can they keep going here? Looking for the next move here to the 5280s, back down towards the 5270s here. If we can get the move back above the 492s, but if it comes back here, I got to be careful. $440s available to me right now. I might take the money here, guys. Seeing the pullback there. Now it's coming back fast on me, guys. Got to be careful. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened there? Whoa, that was an approach there, guys. Big wick there. Keep careful here, guys. I don't know what happened there, guys. I'm setting a stop there about $70 here. That was a little bit dangerous there, guys. And I almost set the stop there to hit me, and it just blew past there right when I went to go let it go at 53.06, 53.05. So I set there now $70 of risk just to protect myself if it comes back through that wick there. But holy moly here, guys. Be careful out there right now. That was a crazy wick there. Action on the Qs. Now seeing the down action coming back in, but man, that wick could have got a lot of traders. Right now, I'm more in protection mode. I just don't want to lose on this position because I was up big here. Was looking for the breakdown through the 5290s, and boy, oh boy, did we get a wicked wick there. Getting a test right now on my level here, guys. I got to be careful here because the big spike there, and it could spike right back. Q's trying to make that attempt to hold the 90 MA right now, but not doing it. There's a spike, guys. What a spike there. Just be careful. Now I'm red here. What is going on, man? The Q's were looking perfect there. Got to be careful here. Now I'm definitely getting some risk and shouldn't be even in a risk approach right now. So trying to manage it here, guys. Need to see the Qs turn right back here because if not, I'm going to take a hit. What a wicked action on that first move. I just let go of the stop there too, man. Should have been able to take the profits. So I should have taken the profits there about, it would have hit me about 225s, but hey, that's how it is sometimes. Got to get through the shake. Now I'm back into the green here. It just came back down fast, just as the Qs bounced there pretty significant. Got to watch the 15-minute chart here. Really don't want it back towards like 53.20s. Really needs to kind of hold there. Need to be careful here as it's going to approach a bounce. If the Qs drop through the 5-minute low or the 1-minute low at 491.20s, we could be right back up towards the highs here. So just trying to keep the risk and return in focused here. Look at the spike there, guys. It is a hard day here today, guys. What a reversal right back down today, man. It's a hard one here to hold. And this is all about the Qs. The Qs are trying to hold here, but now it's approaching the down break here. So be careful there, guys. Oh, man. Hard down action on the Qs. We're going to get a big break here. I'm going to get out here in a second here. About to get hit for a 230 loss here after I was up about 400. So definitely not my cup of tea, but whew. All right, now we're getting a little bit of some recovery there. Watching the action. Man, this one's a tough one, guys. I'll tell you guys right now. This one's going to be a tough one. Definitely going to have to review this trade. And that's another thing to think about. A lot of times we need to go back after the fact to review our trades, review our mindsets. That's why it's so good to also record your trading, record your thinking. That's what I do with you guys. Essentially, I'm giving you guys the look into my thinking, right? So this has been a hard trade to kind of stay with here, guys. The wicked action on the upside scares me. I will say that. It's wicked. There's the downside approach again on the Qs here. It just seems like the Qs don't want to recover. Definitely should be down risk now. What should I've done is at the 53.15 go down back towards 1,000 shares. That's the approach I would like here, because that would bring down this kind of risk on the upside that it comes back on me now. Q's still dropping here, guys. So a lot of traders came in bullish with that Tesla move and a lot of things coming back here. I think I'm in the same boat watching this action. I think a lot of us are caught on this reversal right now. So just looking to see if the Qs can hold on to this 491. If not, they're going to let go and it's going to be fast here. So just be careful, guys. It's definitely a little bit of a wicked move today. Holy moly on this one, guys. It's a tough day, guys. The action was so good on the down move there. We're trying to hold the 491s, but can the Qs do it? That's that third attempt through the 491. Next 50 seconds going to be very important here. I'm watching it on the Qs. There's a little bounce there. That helps, but we still got 10 seconds on this candle here. Looking for the next candle to get back above the 491.50s. The pressure tester already getting that pressure here, guys. Definitely already getting the pressure here. 491.30s. Can we get back above that 491.50s here? Man, what a day, guys. The VXX is hard to trade, but if I would have been closer to my original expected entry of 53.30s, I'd feel a lot less pressure right now. There's the 491.50s approach, and it stopped there. Went to 491.40s. I'm looking for the recovery of 491.50. Recover that 491.50s, and then we can really start to make the move. But that was wicked on the downside, guys. All right, what's going on out there, traders? What are we looking at? It's a battle today, guys. I'm seeing even the chat action slow down. That just tells me that, yeah, traders are watching it like I am right now. We'll see what happens here. There's the 491.60 recoveries here. There's 491.60 now. Looking good if it can hold 491.50 on the pullback. It's holding it, but now it's trying to test it. There's the test. And right back into the 40 there. So could go red candle on the one. This is a tough one today, guys. There's 491.70s now starting to recover a little bit there in the Qs. Whew. What a day, guys. What a day today. I was looking good there, guys. I think I definitely should have taken at least some type of profit there. Had about like 530s available to me. So I'll be reviewing it there a little bit, guys. It just was looking awesome. So I got to, at least what I got to do there is I got to move up right about 20 cents from my position. So at least at the 53s, I should have had a stop and I would have got triggered out there for like 400 into the green. So definitely not doing it right on that end, right? I'm always going to be really critical of myself, probably more critical than even you guys will be. So definitely that's where I look back and say, you know, hindsight 2020, but that's where I want to be kind of looking into my trading and trying to manage that, right? Here's the downside action coming back in as the Qs make an upside approach for the breakout. Now I got to really be careful for the whipsaw back, but looking good right now. We'll see if we do get it, right? I mean, at this point, I'm right back towards my break-even spot. So just watching the action, the Qs are whipping to the upside. So that's good action there. So definitely we got a whipsaw. Now we just want to see it really take off. back through that high here. So back through that high is really what I need to see for the Qs really to take off. And you guys can see it on my screen right now. That's 492.25. Really take off through that level and you're looking good. Apple is one that I'd watch for another break to the upside. Nvidia, can that start to go? Nvidia back through 141 could be a good level to watch, especially if you see this rip and rally coming back. So here's the Qs right off the VWAP, the SPY right on VWAP, Qs a little bit above VWAP, looking for the continuation. But if it doesn't go here, be careful because it could be wicked right back up. And there it is, guys. There's some downside move now coming right back into this. This is just a little bit too much risk here at this one spot. So definitely looking back, just need to start the downsize there because that was a little bit wicked, right? And now I'm what? I'm not deep in the red, but red, right? Deep in the red on this position is more like 300, 400, but I'm right there, right a little tick away. And so that's where I need to, what I do is that if it comes back to my entry there, just downsize, just go back down towards like maybe 1,000 shares, 500 shares. And then when it comes back through my entry and I feel like this is the moment, then I add the size back. That's where I need to practice the getting in and getting back out, right? That's where it's very hard, right? So maybe look at the half. Yeah, maybe in and out, right? But the idea here is to become like in and out of it and maybe take some size off, some of the damage, then put it back on, right? So I want you guys to understand how I'm approaching things and that way we can learn from it, right? Here's downside, still looking into the market, so not looking good here for me. Just want to see if the Qs can take off back through the 492s. That's what saves this trade. That's what gets this trade into the green. Definitely getting that pressure here, guys. So got to be careful here. The Qs need to make that approach back through the 492s. If not, we could come back down to 491s. And if we do that, then boom, I get hit. And then it could come back to 492s. This is where it's really tough right now, traders. Here's that 492 approach. Looking to see if we just break through 492s and take off here. 491.93s. Can we get through that 492? We're struggling there. We got really close, but struggled. So the SPY is still on its low. Doesn't look good there. Could be a quick spike back here, guys. SPY is just dragging, guys. Does not feel good for me. This looks like it's about to break down. The SPY is just what's the drag here. And if the Qs go red, it's not going to be looking good here. Now I'm at you see the VIXY trying to kind of wick me out here. It's putting the pressure on me, and now I'm in the risk about like 400 essentially here. Qs approaching the 491.80s here. Come on, Qs. Let's go back through 492s. 491.80s here. This is going to be vital right now to see if the Qs go through that 492s. If it fails, it goes red candle here. Be careful. It could be a wicked down move back through the 490.40s. Not feeling confident about this. I'll tell you that. There's the pressure even further on the VIX. Now to 43.40s. Pressure's on here, guys. I'll tell you that. I'm definitely getting the risk on, and that's where I need to downsize. That's why I'm feeling the pressure right now. It's not so far from my entry, but what it is that I'm too big, right? So when I get these big positions, I need to be able to break even out, and the stock was in the green there. So we'll look back at this and really kind of review. Right now, it's about management. 1, 2, 3. This is the last attempt. If it doesn't go through that 492, I think we get the red in, and then that's going to hurt me for sure. Watching for it. Now it's going red candle in a second here. Just be careful. Going to get this approach right back through it towards it. Spikes me out here. Approaching the down move here. There you're going to get that wick here. There's going to be a wick here. It's going to be tough to hold here. Now the Q's coming down. So is the SPY. Not looking good here. Needs to recover. If not, goodbye. Goodbye. I'm going to take a hard hit today, guys. It's going to be a learning lesson type of day. I have a feeling. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes, traders. Drug is still looking good there on the limited account. I want to go add to that, but need to focus in here on this one and see what happens here in the main account. Definitely a learning lesson though type of day, guys. I'll be working on things to make improvements on this. And I can tell you guys right now, I definitely should be downsized here. So this is a 250 loss, right? Cut the half size on this is just to be down to 250. And then I can hold in here and feel a little bit more comfortable. Really, the max risk should be closer towards 600, right? Because if I'm making $1,000 to $2,000 on the trade, I want to be sticking towards more of a 2-to-1 look, right? So it's a battle, that's for sure. All right, Q's attempting to down break here. Be careful, guys. It's looking like it wants to try to at least attempt it here. Let's see if it can hold here and then maybe come back up, but that definitely doesn't look good there. It's starting to get washed on the 491s now. Needs to recover here because if not, back above the 491.50s could be a strong move if it can get there. SPY just put a kind of a triple bottom on the 1 minute. Now SPY coming back. So is the Qs. 491.50s is what I'm looking for. And then 492 recovery. You got to be willing to get back out, get back in. That's what it needed to happen here on today, right? Get back out, get back in. Because I would have got back out, got back in maybe on the 53.30 cut down. And then risking on this high 53.44, right? Need to be able to do that, team. Those are things that I'll really be working on. All right, here's the battle. It went back to the 491.50s. Didn't hit it there. Didn't get the break back to the upside. So got to be careful for the downside to come in and finally cut that 491. SPY's coming back. That's the only thing that's maybe helping it a little bit here. Just need the SPY to at least maybe show a little strength here. Maybe the Qs can hold on. We need the SPY to approach a break to the upside. The SPY hasn't approached the break to the upside, and each of the ones that the Qs have tried the rally. So the Qs have been leading here and failing. Why? The SPY is dragging. Let's see if the SPY can make a little bit of an attempt to the upside here with the Qs. So I'll show you guys that in just a second here. I'm trying to protect my position, but I want to show you guys the SPY and the Qs next to each other so that you can see what I'm talking about. Downside in the Qs coming in here, getting that pressured approach here, guys. I'm watching the SPY to see if it can go green, but it's not right now, and it's red, and the Qs are red too. All right, let's see if I can show you guys this really quickly. Hopefully it doesn't cost me. All right, so you guys see here right now, I put it on the screen, the Qs and the SPY. So this is what I'm in, right? And so you can see here, I've been looking to see if the SPY can really make that up approach. It hasn't really made that up approach. The Qs look a lot better than the SPY does right there. So we'll see what happens. This looks like it could do the down approach though and break here. So be careful there, guys. That's the breakdown through the 491. There she's approaching it here. So definitely getting that downside break here. About to take the max risk on. There's an undercut there, guys. Let's see if it rallies. Looking for the SPY to rally on this. So you can see here, the SPY's in an inverse head and shoulders pattern on the 1 minute. There's the head. There's the right shoulder, left shoulder. Neckline would be important to look at. It depends how you want to draw it. You could draw it like this, or you could draw it like this, right? So let's see what happens. Let's see if it gets back above that level. Looking to see if this line can hold. Wicks are fine, just not a breakdown through that 491. Breakdown through that 491 and watch out. It's a tough day, guys. Tough day to go through this action, and it definitely was looking really good. And That's where it gets challenging, right? Got to be able to take it out when it looks really good. Break even, come back in. It's all about timing with the big size. $53.40 starting to turn around. Let's see if the Qs can make a spike here to 491.50s. Day traders definitely starting to head to the door. Let's see if we can start to get a turnaround. There's a SPY getting a little bit of some up action. That's going to be looking good there. Now we're starting to see a little spike there in the Qs. The SPY getting a little spike there. So now starting to see a little bit of some downside action come in. Really just going to keep watch on it. I'll be watching here, guys. There's no guarantees right now on the downside. Not coming back in here. I need to recover the 9 and the 50. First back through 491.50s is really what I need to see for me to even think this is coming back. If I look at the 15-minute chart, it needs to recover the 492. So if there's one level to watch for, the 492s, back above the 492s would be that upside continuation. Back below the 491s, that's downside, right? So that's what I'm watching for here. If it gets back to that 492, yeah, I'm looking gravy, but that's a little bit of ways away here. Let's go to the 1 minute here, and you guys can see the action, right? You can see how it's trying to come back now. 491.50s. SPY starting to approach that up move there too with the action. Let's see if the SPY can really take off here towards the 580s, and the Qs can go to 492s, and then we can get a real whipsaw back down here. Let's see what happens, guys. This is a battle type of day if I've ever seen one. Drug is taking off, guys. I want to go add on that on the limited account. So I'm going to take a second away from this trade. Go look at the limited account. There you guys see drug. I'm up there on drug. I want to add to it. All right, trying to add on drug. We'll see if we get ads on drugs. I'm just looking for pullbacks there on it. Don't want to add at 52. I want to add closer towards 50 now, right? So 40, 51 or 50, that's kind of the area where I could look for ads. We'll put out a 51. I'll put out 50 and a 49.90. Maybe a 49.50. Separate that other buy a little bit further away. Don't need too many shares for this. Ooh, man. Guys, this is why I got to focus on the main account. Look at that thing. Look at that flip there on the Qs. For just a second there, guys. Oh, man, that's where it gets hard. I'm trying to look at drug, trying to manage drug. Now the Qs and the SPY coming back on me. All right, got to watch the Qs here. The Qs are what is important to me. I'm looking at a 5-minute chart now. Got to watch it and look at the downside to 491. So just be careful. It's going to come back real quick here. 530 is already giving me the risk spot here. This is off takedown here, guys. Be careful. I'm already setting the risk 330s. It might get hit here, and that's okay because the way that the action is, I don't want to get whipsawed out of here. 260. I'm already showing my hand here because it's just a little bit too much risk with that hard downside move in the market. This could be a big spike in the VIX here. There it is, guys. Just got spiked out there. The 35s came in there. That was tough, man. Tough day, guys. Down 370 there. Willing to get back into the trade if it starts to spike back, but too much risk there on that downside move there. And it could come back in a hurry, but man, oh man, What a day, guys. What a day. Little mismanagement there, I will say. Maybe I'm just tired, maybe not reacting as well. Not trying to make excuses, but man, not the best management today. That's how it is. All right, QS, go break that 7. Go get it. Now we're getting a little bit of reversal action. We'll see if it reverses, but this is why I should have been closer to that 53.30s. We'd still be in. Watching the action now. Now we're starting to come back here, and that's where it can just like as quickly as it came down reverse back out. So watching it here. Tesla's still holding in on the 248s. Tesla hasn't pulled back at all. BRAC's holding in today. That's interesting. BRAC's holding in. Bouncing back kind of day. Drugs still doing well there. Look to see what happens on that. SPY still looking like it wants to break down there. We'll see what happens. Q's still pretty weak here. Man, that was tough, man. I had a nice little trade there. Should have been able to take some profits. Half profits not going to work though. Definitely don't want to take half profits. That's not what the move is there. The move is to be able to stop out or risk down when it comes back. All right, we'll see what happens here. 53.30s now starting to approach the downside action, coming back. So the Qs could just drop here and then the Qs could bounce here and then come right back. So looking to see if maybe I get right back into the trade here. It is starting to get that move here. SPY starting to bounce too. And then just as quickly as they wash me out, they could bring it back. Look at that. More downside coming in here. The VXX trying to spike on me. Looking to see what's going to happen here. Will the Qs come right back up? I like the approach, guys. I'm going to go right back into it, guys. I'm taking another trade here on the VXX. Maybe I'm jumping a little too much, but I took the shot there. I got the 53.30s. Now I'm going to watch it here. I really need to see it back down towards like 53.15s before I add another shares here. Just want to keep within reach to the top. We're only risking about 140 right now. So I'll risk a little bit more on the day. I can risk max about 600 on any one day. Don't want to risk 1,300, right? That's the max on the account, but always going to keep it a little bit under that. We'll see what happens here. If the Qs can really start to climb back, that's the trade here. And so I'm taking the shot and trying to be like a basketball shooter, right? Like a basketball shooter, a lot of times, what do you need to have? You need to have a short memory. Last trade was last trade. This trade was this trade. Now let's focus. SPY coming back in a hurry too. And so we are getting that recovery now. Here's the SPY and the Qs coming back to the 498.48. So now just need to see it come back all the way to the 492s. Can we get it back towards 492 and above? Looking good here, guys, on the first action. Just need to see it start to really climb. I don't want to overreact and add too early, especially now that we're in the red. And so we need to be slower and waiting for this. And we could still make the money back and cover that one loss easily if it goes into the green here today. So just watching the action here. Can we get a bullish engulfing candle? So that means it needs to reclaim all that red action on the last 5-minute candle. So back up towards 492 would do that. It's also a trend line approach, right? So back through that trend line, above that trend line is what I'm looking for. SPY hitting that trend line there. We'll see if it goes above it too. So the SPY coming back here now, and want to see SPY come towards like 580s. Tesla could go for the 250 breakout now. I know that a lot of traders have been trying to trade Tesla probably all day long, and it's been kind of going sideways here, but has stayed positive, right? And so now we could come back and take the 250s. We'll see what happens on that. Looking to see if Apple can make that breakout, and look at Apple, guys, now making the up approach. I like Apple right here, looking good there. We'll see if we make another leap up. Nvidia is another good sign if it starts to really take off there. We'll see. Now we're trying to make the approach back here on the Qs. Let's see if for some reason we can actually get it back through 492s. It's at 491.70s. Now I'm starting to get the action here. So it could take the approach to add right here on the VXX. I'm looking at maybe potentially going 500 shares and adding there. But looking at the action right now, looking for the 492s really to show up before I get too excited. Here's 491.80s, so definitely coming back, right? I mean, that's a pretty good candles back there. Now on the 5-minute, I'm getting that bullish engulfing look. Watching it here, want to see that 492 show up here. Nice recovery here on the market now. Definitely kind of more of that wick out, and we've been seeing so many whipsaws back. So I'm wondering if we whipsaw back to 493 here. It's a tough one, guys. Smash the like out there, guys. What are you guys looking out there? All right, looking around to see what you guys are taking a look at. What's going on, traders? What are we watching? All right, guys, up a little bit here. I'm up about $100 here. I'm thinking, do I take the profits? It is pulling back there. Didn't get to the 492. Got close, 491.90s, and that's why I was waiting. So now it's approaching that trend line approach where it does the throwback look, right? Could come to the VWAP. VWAP's 491.50s. Don't want to see below that. Looking for the move to start really kind of breaking towards the upside through the 492s. I want to see strong action go towards this high here, 492.23s. All right, I'll add 500 if it breaks 53.15s and starts to break down again here. We'll see if we just get a takeoff and I get another trade here in the VXX. Just tried to be, short mind thinking, and that the trade was still there. The potential was still there. We did get that downside shake, but that's how it goes sometimes. Steph, how you doing out there? Follow your plan, day discipline. Don't go for the home run. Hey, that's how it is sometimes. And yeah, not going for the home run's important, right? I think that at the end of the day, I think, one of the things is I am pushing the size and going to that next level. There could be a too big size, but to me, I still think I'm staying within the reach, because what matters to me is no more than 600 on one day on the downside. Looking for $1,000 days on the upside, right? And I had that $1,000 day yesterday. I had more than $1,000 day potential. Just to cut to the trade a little too early on the 600. Could have easily got 1,500 on that trade. So that's the idea here, and sticking to that right risk to reward profile is going to be important. Can we take the 492s right now? going through that high. We'll see what happens here. 492 now approaching here. Now we're getting the move. Now can we get a breakout back to the upside? We'll look for names at the big boys to kind of give me a signal, right? Apple. We'll look for the break to the upside there. You guys know I've talked about long Apple today, and there's a big reason why I was looking for it to kind of get that approach to the upside. We'll see what happens there. Let's go to some other names. What about Microsoft? How's that doing? Starting to recover there. Google doing pretty decent there, guys. So it's a crazy day out there. And sorry if you guys hear my boys out there. They're pretty loud today, guys. So it's just how it goes sometimes. But hey, hang in there, guys. Hang in there just like I am. I'm talking to my boys out there. They're having a tough day, man. And it was a tough night for me. So, hey, it's going to be a tough one. That's what it is. It'll be a Celsius type of day. That's for sure. Google recovering. So big boys recovering here. Let's see if Tesla can break through the 250 here. Looks good. Looks good, guys. It could continue through that 250 going up there towards maybe 255 today, 260s. Definitely in reach, right? I talked about how 250s were going to be a big level. It could keep breaking. All right, guys, looking for the cues to really start making that move now. All right, it's 10:39, 10:40, guys. We'll probably wrap up a little earlier today, probably closer towards 10:50s. So we got about 10 minutes left here. Smash the like, throw up some stocks you guys are watching out there, guys. How to trade on a consolidating market. So one of the things that you want to be looking at when you're trading a consolidating market is doing what? Well, if you're trading a consolidating market, we're having that kind of square pattern, right? So you're having resistance and supports. There's two ways of trading it. It's within the range, trading within the range, maybe using even Bollinger Bands to tell you where that range is, and just trying to buy it on the bottom, sell it on the top, sell it at the top, buy it at the bottom. Or you look for continuation patterns and breakdowns or breakouts. But what you want to see is a close above or below that level, maybe using a little bit of a deeper time frame, like an hour or 15-minute chart to try to approach that, right? That's the way that I like to look at it. And a lot of that is closing action. You guys will sometimes see me try to jump the gun, but the truth is we should be looking for, on technical analysis, the closing action is more important than the opening or the up and down action in between the candle. It's more about where the candle opens and closes. That's why I like using bar charts. If you haven't used a bar chart before, please take a look at that. I have one right here that I always take a look at, guys. And that's important to me, right? It's taking a look sometimes at the bar chart outlook. It's right there on top. And the cues is really kind of showing me now that we've made that down attempt there and we're trying to recover the daily open, right? So that's going to be important. Now, if we take a look at this on kind of more of a 15-minute approach, it doesn't look too bad there, guys. It is trying to recover here, but of course it needs to hold a pullback to like 49.50, so we could still get the pullback to 49.50s before we get the break back to the upside. But the 15 minutes showing me that, yeah, you made that downside attempt and you rejected the breakdown below the 490.50. So let's see if we take 492s and start to climb back higher. Actually in the red now, guys, getting some attempt here back here, guys. So got to understand where my risk is going to be on the top side of things. I got 375, so I'll risk 200 on the first action. That's a move back through 53.50s. Don't expect that, but of course, watching for the action here. Taking away my stop on the ad, right? Because there's no need to have that out. But I am seeing Tesla go through the 250s, so that's looking good here, guys. Drug is still working for me too on that trade, guys. So I'm going to continue holding that. That's actually doing pretty well there. 53.13s. We'll see if that gets another move higher here. Still no ad on that pullback on drug. I did have an order out there near 51s on that pullback, but looking for the momentum to come right back into that. We'll see if drug can make another step up here. I want to add to that drug. All right, let's add a little bit here. All right, guys, just added a little bit there. Just got to be careful here as I will start to open up a little bit of risk here. Going to risk about $100 on the name right now. We'll look for an add if it does come back below 51s, but definitely something that I'm looking for to kind of now make a breakout above the 53s is drug. And this is on the limited account. We'll look to see if we get that big breakout. Of course, you guys saw it on my playbook today. We'll see what happens here. I'll show you guys a trade right now. Drug right there to 52s, just added. Now moved my opening price to 51.16. My opening price was closer to 50s, right? So it definitely moved it up a little bit. But now I got 75 shares, really looking for that breakout to continue to happen. It's at 52 right now. So I'm still up a pretty decent amount, looking for that nice breakout above the 53s. It went to 53.07 just recently. And if it breaks out through there, that's where I'm going to start looking for this break above the 55 spot for it to maybe go to 60 and 70 today. And if it could do that, I mean, yeah, we're rocking and rolling, right? So I'll be looking at the upside on this. Where can I make the potential gain to a nice like 350s, right? I'll take a 350 gain. That's a 55.93s today, and that could easily happen on this, right? I could actually make more than that today. So we'll see what happens. I can't make more than I think 50% on this one trade. So we'll see. Trying to push it here, guys. Let's go. Wisdom, it's good to see you out there. Let's keep pushing, guys. All right, 10:44, almost to that time where I'll be hopping out of here, guys, in just a second. All right, back to the main account here, guys. Let's go back to the main account. Let's watch the Qs here. Qs are trying to make the move. Hasn't made the move just yet. All right, we'll see if the Qs do make the move. They're actually approaching the downside approach now, guys. Big move on the downside. Not looking good here for the VXX. It's getting a spike here, guys. So I'm about to get in my max risk here. Definitely getting to the max risk. That was a quick spike there in the Qs. We'll see if it recovers off the 491.50s. It's trying to spike me out today, guys. Really trying to cost me. We'll see what happens here. The market overall doesn't look bad, but it is definitely on the fake outs on both sides right now. So now we're playing in the middle. Now we're stuck in the middle on the VWAP. Now it's just going to be more about watching the bigger time frames to see what happens here. But am I getting the pressure? Oh, yes. The VIX is just jumping and jumping here, guys. Holy moly, that was a spike. I don't know what happened there, but big spike there. Woo! Big spike. Watching the Qs because they're still on the VWAP there, so it could just be a fake out. But man, the pressure today has been intense, guys. And this is with 1,000 shares, so that's a big spike there for me. In a second, got to get out if this keeps going, but the Qs are still coming back. It's crazy. What are we seeing here, guys? There's something that has to be happening. Looking around, the Qs are still holding here, but the market overall just doesn't look that great. The SPY, where are we at? The SPY is what's holding us down, man, and it's dragging us. The SPY is what dragged there, guys, and the SPY made a hard move down, and even though the Qs are going up, so there's an up move in the Qs, but then it just gets rejected right now with the SPY drag down. The SPY is what's dragging us. The SPY is just the overall market, right? So that's what's holding us up. That's what not letting us get the move back up. The Qs are trying to make the approach higher, but the SPY won't let it right now. The SPY is just dragging it, guys. The SPY with hard move down on that action there. Should have recovered that 580s. We were looking great for that recovery. Now it's looking like it wants to break down here. It's a tough day for me today, guys. Definitely pushing in way too much. And you can see right now I'm risking like 440s, which would push me into 700s. Way too much, guys. I talked about it. 600 should be my max risk here. Definitely going to take a hit here. It's crazy on the market right now. The chop is insane. intense right now, and the market was looking great with tech. I thought tech would bring it back there. Apple looking pretty decent, 20, 30, 40s. Tesla breaking through the 250s. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap today. What a trappy type of day. Looking at the 15-minute candle, the 15-minute candle is still kind of holding in here, but could drop really fast. So yeah, it's just one of those days, guys. I'm going to set a risk here and just get the heck out of here, guys. Definitely probably not the sharpest today, especially being tired, and definitely risked a little too much today on both sides of this trade, right? So right now, I'm just going to set the risk. It might hit me on this down action in the Qs. It looks like we're getting a move back towards 491 on the Qs, and that's going to really shake some traders as we get more and more chop, right? So the consolidating markets playing in today, playing the range might have been the better way, but definitely down action coming back to the Qs, not what we wanted to see there. And I'm just going to set the risk here and get the heck out of here, guys. That'll be a pretty big hit if I get hit there. It's about 440s on there if I get hit. So that's going to be bringing it towards 7, maybe 800 today. So too much on the risk side of things. Got to keep focusing, trying to find ways to manage this type of sizing. Is going to be tough. We'll see what happens. Market's definitely choppy. Of course, right before the elections, it was looking great today on the upside. Was looking for pullbacks to hold and recover. It did not hold and recover, so we'll see what happens there. Definitely the 491 spot still holding in on the Qs, but it's a tough move today, guys. All right, we'll see if the Qs recover here back towards 492s. They're the only things that I think could bring the market back, but it has not been pretty. If it breaks 491, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be an ugly red day. So definitely tough day action out there on the pullback. Overnight action keeps being the move. That's stomping out the day traders. So the swings are making moves right now. Investments are making moves. Day traders are getting the chop. So nice Harmy candle there. So I'm looking at it right now to see if it comes back above the 491.50s, but it doesn't look good. It looks like it's approaching the downside of it. Don't want to see it break that low of that candle and then come back through the 491.50s. Then it could spike to 492s right back. So it's definitely just that choppy chop type of market there, but it looks like it's going to break that 491 right now. Look at that 491.08, 498, 106, 491.05s there, 491s there. Looks like it's about to break down here. You're going to get a wick here, so definitely need to go ahead and just establish the risk here. There's the 491 breakdown there. Now we're going down a little bit further, and the SPY leading some downside action here, so definitely not what you want to see. So definitely did break there. Now we'll see if the Qs recover, but that's it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get the heck out of here. It's 10:51. It's been a tough day on me today, guys. We'll see if I get triggered out here. Looking at the action here, it doesn't look good here. That's for sure. Qs going for that breakdown here. Going to get a wick here, and then going to see if it comes back, but does not look good here at all. It's definitely some pressure here today, and not trading the best at all, man. Definitely slower to the execution today, and it's just been back and forth. If I would have played the first opening move there, even just that alone would have been able to cover the trade here. So bad action today, guys. We'll see what happens here. Qs breaking down, really costing me today. So we'll see what happens, guys. Not a good day for me today, man. Got to bounce back, guys. It's one of those days where I'll just have to take a little bit of the learning lesson. We all take learning lessons, and today is definitely one of those days. Whew. Tough one indeed, guys. I might get a max hit here today, guys, and that's not me, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. We'll see what happens on that action. Like always, guys, stay safe out there, traders. It's been a tough one today. Down action coming back to the market with Tesla driving the market higher. Apple looked like it was coming with it too, and boom, down goes the market. So stay safe out there, traders. The patient panda did not work today. Tried to battle back, guys. We'll see what happens. Stay safe out there, traders. Definitely taking a whacking today, but hey, we'll see what I can do. And drug, right? Still up on that one. Maybe at least the limited account goes into the green today. This one is definitely a painful one. I'll see you guys back tomorrow. The only way to battle is to come back tomorrow, be back after it, and stay safe out there, traders. Hey, just how it goes sometimes. Got to always bounce back.